Hello and welcome back to another commentary video. Today I'm going to be doing an honest look at the first Tomb Raider game in the remake of the remakes. It came out in 2013 and I love it. Honestly, this game is probably one of my favourite games I've ever played, and I'll probably go back through and play it again probably pretty soon actually, because the story was brilliant. The gameplay was pretty good. There were a few things which are wrong with it, but I enjoyed it from start to finish, and I definitely recommend this game to anyone at all who would, well, I say who would like to play it. I'm pretty sure if you just picked it up and gave it a go, you'd enjoy playing it. It took me about 15-ish hours to play through, which I think is a pretty decent time for a story-based game with no multiplayer. And maybe I'm thinking between 15 to 25 hours is a good length for a main campaign. But there's plenty more stuff to do, as you can see here. There's ruins and tombs you can explore, which are not part of the main missions, but they do give you bonuses during the mission, so you can do it whilst you're playing through. I think I picked up most of them whilst I was playing through. Then there's different collectibles like geocaches and artifacts, which you get a little talk on what the artifacts are and stuff like that. And then you get other things like writings from different people, either ancient people or people that are coming through this place now. And it's a very immersive game, and the graphics are outstanding. I was struggling for words there because I didn't really know what I was going to say. They just are breathtaking, especially the hair physics in this. That's the one thing I would say. I have quite a reasonably beefy PC, 16 gigs of RAM, and I can't even think of the other stuff off the top of my head. But yeah, I've got quite a bit of RAM, so it doesn't slow down too much. I had no problems playing the game. I had a few problems playing the second game, but I'll get into that later. And I think it's just because I was playing that game for too much, for too long. But no, I'll get that. And I might talk about that in this game, or I might do an honest look at the second game, because honestly, I didn't like that one as much as this one, but it was still brilliant. But no, going back to this, like I said, there are a few flaws, and I'm just going to go through them now because like I said, there's only a few of them. It's quick, but I want to get more onto the rest of it in a minute, and I'll come back to graphics later. The flaws were, and these are things that they did start to improve on during the second game. But in this game, the flaws were that you could, like, when you was getting parts and stuff to upgrade your weapons, it was just parts. There was no, you need to get wood and animal hide and metal and stuff like that. It was just parts, and in some ways that made it. Made the gameplay better, because it wasn't like, oh, I need to go and get this thing and this thing. You was just picking up parts all over the place, and in some ways it was like, yeah, but then it wasn't as it took you out of it a little bit. It wasn't as immersive in that aspect, and I like to get, if in these story-based games, I like to get as immersed as possible. So that's another criticism. Another criticism I would have for it is that some of the controls kind of are a little bit clunky. Later on in the video, you'll see me trying to jump from one cliff face to another, and it just not connecting. Which I feel like for about 80% of the game, it's totally fine, but that 20% where it's feeling a bit clunky and you're having to do things over and over because it's just not working out and stuff like that. That does get a little bit annoying, and that's why I don't think I'd ever give a 10 to anything out of 10, unless it was absolutely mind-blowing, a brilliant story, brilliant graphics, brilliant gameplay, and it had no flaws whatsoever like that. So just to get that out of the way, I would give this a 9 out of 10, and I think that's pretty fair, because I honestly I think I got my money's worth for this. And I had no idea about this game before I bought it. Like I said, I got it in. I think I got it in a sale. So it was not something that I looked at beforehand, but as soon as I started playing, I couldn't put it down. I pretty much spent a whole week of my life, probably not even that, probably half a week of my life just playing this. Like, I played it all the way through. And maybe in one more criticism, I did say 15 hours is fine earlier, but I find it was good. While I was playing it, it seemed like a lot longer. And I feel like maybe a few more hours onto the gameplay would have made it a little bit better. But I'm not sure if I should do a brief overview of the story or not, because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But you know what? I'm going to give spoilers. This is what this is all about. So basically, you're Lara Croft, and everyone knows Lara Croft the Tomb Raider, and you get stranded on this island when you're looking for a hidden people, basically, or hidden temples and stuff. And there's these other people on the island that have been trapped here, and they're basically trying to kill you to get one of your friends to help them get off the island. And that's pretty much the majority of the story. I mean, there are other aspects of it, but I don't want to ruin too much of it, like I said, because I feel like this is a game people need to pick up and play. I would tell any of my friends, I've told plenty of my friends to play it. If any of them have, I don't know, I haven't asked any of them, but it's absolutely brilliant. You can see me being awful at the game. I haven't played it in quite a while, because I was basically played it because the second one was coming out, and I already had it in my library, and it made me want to play the second one so much more. Going back to the graphics now, I think that might be one of the things that's made this game for me, because I absolutely love the art style of it, and I'm in love with big mountainous regions and stuff like that, and it's just got a very pretty aesthetic, I guess is a way to put it, and the animations and stuff, absolutely brilliant. And again, going back to the story, absolutely brilliant storytelling. I think they nailed pretty much everything in this. The fights sometimes would get slightly repetitive. It wasn't too bad because of the different areas I was in, and because the area you're seeing now is just one part of the game. You have to. There's like different bits where you're in like a temple rather than like up a mountainside, and I think there's a bit in this one where you're in an old abandoned, I think it's a Japanese military base from the Second World War, and it adds that much extra when it's like taking stuff from the real world. And I know lots of games do that, but for me it did it in such a way that it was integral to the story, and it was brilliant. And another thing that's brilliant that it does is it brings in aspects of history to it, which I strangely learned quite a few things from this game, and I loved finding all the artifacts. You find one and it's kind of like, oh yeah, the collectibles, whatever, but you wanted to keep finding them, and there's stories that are written out in notes that you wanted to keep listening to and finding out. All the voice acting is brilliant. The progression, you feel like you're getting somewhere. And I just think that it's such a good game. It's a good game for both sexes as well. Like, she's such a strong female character, and she is alongside some other strong female characters in the game. But she's such a strong female character. It's something that you don't usually see in video games. I think the storytelling aspect of it, along with the normal video game stuff, is something that I don't see very often. I know a lot of people are into the story of Halo and Call of Duty and stuff, and I think if I got maybe a bit more into Halo, maybe I would be into the story, but it just doesn't grasp me in the same way this does. It's really a ride from start to finish, and I feel like I'm just like patting on the head and saying well done for most of this video, but it really is just one of those games where you just need to play it, really. Thank you for watching. This has been ForeverJamy. See you next time.